Hello,
Hello, welcome to Real Brief.
the podcast.
Yes, the podcast.
We are Rachel and Lucy. I'm Lucy, wife to Nathan and mum to Charlie, who's 2.5.
And I am wife to Blake and mum to Navy, who is 3, and Percy, who is almost 10 months, and our dog Ralph.
Yeah. And we are two Christian best friends sharing life with you.
Yeah,
We're so excited.
I'm so excited.
We've actually recorded the whole first season of this podcast,
Yeah,
and we've come back to do the intro for like the eighth time.
yeah. We just recorded it and we were really happy with it, and my microphone wasn't working.
So we've come
So
back again.
here we are.
And we're
Hopefully.
doing a little bit of a different angle on it because we feel like God was like, nah, do it again. So we're gonna start off with some poems that we've written, which you guys, I'm sure lots of you will have heard the having coffee with my younger self poems online, the trend at the moment. So we thought that this would be a good place to begin.
Yeah.
And we'll explain a little bit more about the podcast after. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Yours is way more emotional for me, so
Which
I
is
feel
like kind of surprising, to be honest.
yours just hits different. I met my younger self for coffee today. She was 15 minutes late, even though she'd said she was on her way 30 minutes ago. I was 2 minutes late, a significant improvement. She ordered green tea, already her fifth of the day. She believed it helped with weight loss. I ordered a decaf vanilla latte with full fat milk. Neither of us could really handle the caffeine. She felt confused about which path to take. She didn't know what job she wanted to do or which degree she wanted to study. She felt aimless. I smiled with tears in my eyes and told her none of that mattered to her at 30, as she'd have the two jobs she'd always dreamed of, mum and wife. I told her how much purpose she'd feel. She talked about having spinal surgery and her recent failed attempt at moving to New York but running away. I told her our life has continued to never be boring and has been filled with ups and downs and surprising stories, but that still we wouldn't change a thing. I told her at 30 we don't live to please other people, we don't obsess over how our body looks, we don't have anxiety. We also don't know what the future holds, but we know who holds it, and that's enough for us. She talked about how she thought she kind of believed in God, but also the universe. I told her she would understand and truly know the goodness of God and worship no other. She smiled with a look of confusion. I looked back at her with love. Sorry, this bit makes me cry. We sobbed in the last podcast.
Yeah, the first one we was.
I looked back at her with love, knowing it would take a good few more years and psychic readings to get here, but felt peace knowing that we would. She breathed a temporary sigh of relief as we hugged goodbye and went off to worry about the fact that I mentioned there would still be downs. I hope to meet her again someday. Sorry, I did well that time. Right,
Oh.
Rachel's turn. You go.
Right. I met my youngest. Oh, before I start, I've also got a bit of a cold, so if I sound a bit monotone, the whole season isn't like that. Sorry. Um, I met my younger self for coffee today. She was 15 minutes early, but waited in her car, nervous to go in first. She was worried about how her clothes fit. She looked great. I'd arrived 5 minutes early, comfortable, excited, carrying our youngest child on my hip. She ordered a large hot chocolate. I knew she'd calculated the calories and that she would need to go for a run later on. But in the moment, she just couldn't resist asking for the large. She was already regretting it. I ordered a medium vanilla latte. It was just the size I felt like at the time. There was no guilt. She told me she knew she was living the best years of her life but was anxious about her uni grades, despite the fact they were good. She knew the goal was to get a decent corporate job and climb the ladder. I told her she would do that. She looked relieved. I then told her I then told her she'd find much more joy in being at home. I also told her the best years were really yet to come. She told me long distance was difficult, but she really liked her boyfriend. He was hardworking, loving, funny. She then spotted my left hand. I asked her if she thought this little boy on my knee looked familiar to her. She told me she believed in God but wasn't confident enough to ever talk about him. She said she'd just started going to church. I said she wouldn't believe just yet the things God would show her and what she would do for him. I told her about this podcast. She felt uncomfortable opening up to me as if I didn't already know everything anyway. She admitted she felt like she was never good enough at judo, as if being the best was the only measure of success. She told me she struggled with not having a group of close friends. She didn't enjoy having to piggyback friends off others. I assured her she wouldn't always feel the need to aim for perfection, and that we were past that now. And as for her friends, now they really would be the best. I felt emotional as we said goodbye, wiping tears from my face. I could tell she was confused that we do that now. You'll see, I tell her with a smile.
Literally, look at this.
Look at me. Oh my goodness. I hope to meet her again someday.
Beautiful. Those poems we felt like would be a good start to this, because not only do they show how this will run, like it's conversational, raw, vulnerable, honest, but also the transformation is quite a theme for this. So while these poems span over the last like 10 plus years, the transformation that we've seen in both of our individual lives over the last 8 months has been huge. And we are so aware that in the future, I'm sure we could write a new poem.
Yes.
With even more growth. But we really want to highlight how far we've come. And we do talk about that quite a lot in this. And the reason for that change has been we've begun reading the Bible, which might sound so obvious if we've said we're Christians, but
because I think people, whether you're Christian or not, might think like, what do you mean you've been Christian for years and you've never really read the Bible? But we hadn't. It's changed our lives. And the more that I read, the more that I realize how common it is that people don't read it.
And this isn't to call anyone out, but I mean, we hope that it encourages Christians who don't read the word to read it. But we also think that if you're a non-Christian, the struggles that we talk about and just our conversations would hopefully be encouraging. It's not a Bible study, but we do mention the Bible a lot because we live and breathe it now. But we're very excited to release this.
So we'll be releasing episodes on a Wednesday morning on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. We've also got Instagram and TikTok if you wanted to follow us. All our handles are Real Brief the Podcast.
We'd love a follow, but also we have such pure intentions with this. It's not for fame. I mean, I feel embarrassed to even say that. We would never ever have thought that we'd do a podcast, even just openly saying that we're Christians.
No, I would have been scared.
I would have been embarrassed. Sorry, Lord. But
we feel so much peace over this.
Yeah.
It's daunting, but it's not scary.
Yeah.
And we will keep recording until we no longer feel like
peace, joy, excitement.
But so far it's been so fun.
It's been so fun just hanging out. We do this at 5:30 in the mornings. Not every single morning, obviously.
No, because obviously with the kids it's hard to fit it in elsewhere. And it's been nice just hanging out with you one-on-one.
It's been so fun.
Really possible to do that.
But now we have been, So we hope that you will enjoy this, and we hope we just get at least one listener. But we'll see. But thank you guys. We will hopefully be in your ears next Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.